Destructoid, it's Holly Bennett, and I'm finishing up with one of these companies that you all want to see, and for some reason every year they're the last people that we get a chance to say hello to. It's NCSoft, it's GuildWars 2. Now, you guys announced last year the game, and this time we're coming back for just a few more details. So before we start on the main game, let's talk about PvP.
So we're showing PvP for the first time here at Cologne. We're showing our competitive PvP, and what we're showing is our hot joinable type of PvP. So what that means is instead of waiting in queues like you do in a lot of MMOs, you get to open up a server browser and find a server that you want and join that. And the map we're showing really highlights sort of the destructive nature of parts of the game. So each team has a trebuchet and can destroy parts of the level, and as you play, it opens up new pathways, different ways of defending areas, things like that. And so we wanted the map to feel very dynamic, and then take advantage of all the movement skills we have, so that there are lots of different high paths and low paths and all kinds of things like that.
No, it looks absolutely fantastic. So the main game itself, of course, we've got professions. I hear there's still one that you haven't quite announced. Is there any clue that you'll give them? Because I know everybody wants to know, even anything.
I don't think I could give them. I don't think we could give them any more clues than we've already given. I think without saying the name, I think that's about the next step. So I'm sorry, I can't do that.
It's all right then. Let's look at customization now. You guys, okay, you know, everyone has customization these days, but you guys have taken a very different visual style to it, and also you've gone further with the dying abilities as well.
Yeah, so we wanted a customization system that was easy for people who aren't quite artists to use. So we use kind of a combination of sliders as well as really visual sorts of options where you can see what you're going to do before you do it. And then we allow you to play around with our die system, and the game tries to remember your die scheme at all times. And so if you find a new piece of armor, you don't have to re-die it. The game's just going to know, hey, you like purple shoulders with green pants and yellow boots or something like that, yeah.
Now, when you're actually playing the game itself, one of the new things is the dodge bar. That's been in addition. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we had an energy potion mechanic before, and the energy was used up when you used a skill or when you dodged. And we wanted to make dodging a really prominent part of the game, more prominent than it was. And so what we did is we disassociated the skill usage part of that and made it just a dodge bar. And what that allows us to do is to A, make dodging a lot more powerful, because we don't have to balance dodge use against skill use. And then B, it allows us to have professions that can manipulate that bar. So for example, thieves might be able to replenish all of their allies' dodge bars, which gives them a really cool in-character kind of way to support their allies.
Fantastic. Now, it's not just on land anymore, is it? We're going underwater for our fights.
Yes. So our underwater combat's a little bit different. We wanted our underwater combat to be a change of pace, but to not be worse than land combat. So no breath meters and things like that. We give you an underwater breathing apparatus, and it's a slot of equipment. So if you want to, you can get a cool diving helmet and cool stuff like that and get cool stats on it. And also we wanted a special set of weapons and skills that took advantage of the Z-axis. And so we have things like for example, the Guardian on the Trident, which is one of his underwater weapons, has a thing called Weight of Justice, which drags the character down on the Z-axis, and then they can do this column of light that damages guys in the column. And so you're both immobilizing the guy and dragging him down as well as damaging him. And so we really want to emphasize that nature in underwater combat.
And the one final thing, when we're talking big bosses now, you know, we can get 100 odd people in this, but the bosses scale, right? So we're not just going to make it easier by getting more friends in to help us.
Yeah, so all of our events and our bosses, our big bosses are our events, scale. And the bosses in particular scale up to 100 players. And so you can have 100 players fighting a boss. And we don't want to have it be that you balance the boss for 5 guys, and then when 10 guys attack it, it's like over in 5 seconds. And so we want that experience to be a good experience, regardless if there's 20 people fighting it or 50 people or 100 people.
And actually, one thing I will ask for all of the fans of GuildWars, will you guys be looking to do an open beta so that everybody can get in and have a go?
We're definitely going to do an open beta. When we're going to do the open beta is still up for date. We're currently in alpha, which means we have people from outside of the company playing it. We're going to go into open beta or closed beta, this year. I almost misspoke. And then the results of closed beta will determine when we're going to open beta, and then the results of open beta will determine when we're going to ship.
I wasn't even going to ask the release date.
So when it's ready, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I know everyone will be absolutely excited and is absolutely hanging on any news for Guild Wars 2, so thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Keep watching the front page, Destructoid.